We do know that international recruitment is part of the government's workforce plan for the next 5 to 10 years in healthcare. So it's not going anywhere.
When the next opportunities arise, to be honest, I think anybody that's going to have more than a year's gap are probably going to get overlooked, to be fair.
Yeah. We're hoping that they will now turn their attention to international recruitment, because if they don't step it up soon, there's going to be a real problem in the next couple of years.
And what are the chances of the newly qualified nurses and getting shortlisted for the interviews?
Remember that NHS Wales and NHS England are completely different. So they have different fundings.
What do you think with the Lord Darcy's report, or they are trying to get a plan, or they're trying to investigate what exactly is needed for a proper 10-year plan? So
we're looking for international nurses again. It will be in more specific areas, such as
we are very specific in telling anybody that's been successful at an interview that please do not resign until you have that CoS in your hand.
So they will tell them, like, okay, if you guys work here for 1 year, we will give you the experience certificate and we will give you the still working certificate, but there won't be any salary.
Oh, between an agency and ourselves,
right.
You know, that we're not there for profit. We're there for the help of the nurses.
Thanks for joining the session. That's great. Yeah, really appreciate it.
I'm going to have Paul from our teams joining as well.
Yeah.
Hi, Paul.
Hi, Paul. Hello. Hi, Paul. Yeah, nice to meet you, Paul. We got a really big audience waiting to get an update regarding the international recruitment and everything.
Yeah.
So you guys know, like, it's been going through this year, isn't it? So we haven't heard anything regarding the updates and all. I think like very less frequent interviews are happening from like in midwifery, mental health, and in some places. That's it. So they've been curious. The main thing is worrying is their OET or the IELTS is going to get expired. CBT examination. So that's just the worrying factor.
Yeah, of course, it's really sad, and I'm sad for people. We're you know, the Devon Alliance is sad for people whose OETs and CBTs are running out, but there's nothing we can do. It's not us personally that's causing these delays. It's the delay on the government's end, and it's not just us, you know, UK-wide. It's UK-wide, you know, it's an NHS England thing. And we're waiting for them to say whether or not there's going to be more funding coming down the pipelines, and that's literally what we're waiting for.
It's mainly with the funding and everything, isn't it?
It is funding. We do know that international recruitment is part of the government's workforce plan for the next 5 to 10 years in healthcare. So it's not going anywhere. The hospitals are just waiting for that funding to come down. So now there's a new government in, and they've been settled for a few months. We're hoping that they will now turn their attention to international recruitment, because if they don't step it up soon, there's going to be a real problem in the next couple of years.
Exactly, yeah, because I've been like, most of us got the emails from RCN also in the recent couple of days regarding the shortages, the crisis, the corridor care, everything. So Guardian has published a review, like a news also regarding the same thing. And hopefully the Lord Darcy report, which is going to be coming up in September, might be showing up something which reflects that we need recruitments or the nursing care.
We really do. Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. So hopefully the government sees that there's an issue coming, and they head it off at the pass before it gets any worse. So that's what we hope.
Exactly. Yeah. What I normally intended to do is with the YouTube channel, the YouTube channel name is Maluna Singapore. So we do like lots of videos regarding the English language examination guidance, CBT preparation, interview updates, recruitment updates, support and well-being for the nurses, mostly international nurses also. So we got a group of like Kerala nurses, non-Kerala nurses, or everyone is there within the community. So this will be getting benefit for most of the Indian nurses within the, I mean,
are you from Kerala?
Yeah, I'm from Kerala. I'm from the capital, Trivandrum. So
Trivandrum. Okay. Yeah, we went to Kochi last year.
Great. Yeah, you told me like that was in April 2023, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, it was amazing. We hired 150 nurses.
Great. Okay. Yeah, that was a good thing. But recently also the NORCA and the NHS Wales, they got in touch, and that was really like reassuring news for the nurses also.
Really good. Oh, I know. It is important to remember that NHS Wales and NHS England are completely different. So they have different funding. So really, really happy that that's happened. But, you know, it's not NHS England, they're separate. So just bear that in mind, you know, when you're worrying and when you're panicking, that that's NHS Wales. It is a bit different. So we're trying our best.
Yeah. Hopefully, I think with the funding and all, isn't it, rather than getting connected with a third party, NORCA like agencies are government funded or the
Yes.
government through agencies. So it will be like a bit more transparency in recruitment also.
Yeah, and that's the same as us. We're an NHS owned entity, so we're an NHS owned team. We're not an agency. We do have to charge a small fee because we have to cover our own wages and our own costs.
Yeah.
But it's not high cost. It's low cost.
What is the current UK NHS nursing recruitment status according to you guys?
So currently in NHS England, we are waiting for the go-ahead from the government for international recruitment. There are pockets of international recruitment around the UK from hospitals that have got the knowledge to carry on with that, and that are processing with international recruitment, but there are a lot of hospitals that are waiting for the go-ahead from the government. So at the moment, we're waiting for the new government that's in place to give guidance on what the future will look like with regards to funding for international recruitment. But we know it's part of the NHS long-term workforce plan for the next 5 to 10 years. So it's not going anywhere. We're just waiting for them to give the go-ahead and just to sort of say the funding's available. So that's sort of where we are at the moment.
Yeah, it's also just from your picture, what do you think with the Lord Darcy's report, or they are trying to get a plan, or they're trying to investigate what exactly is needed for a proper 10-year plan. So I think that's the Health Secretary is trying to get a clear picture or a blueprint what is going to happen. So does that gonna, even regarding the ratio of nurse-patient ratio and international recruitment, which is one of the main topic in there, is that gonna help in the upcoming future regarding like?
Yeah, of course, any evidence-based work that can be put ahead to say this is what's needed, it can only be a positive thing. So, you know, we would definitely welcome those types of investigations into ratios of staff to patients and international recruitment. It can only be a positive thing.
Yeah, great. Next question was, these are the main questions asked we got a cohort of nearly, I say like nearly 5,000 to 6,000 nurses in different subgroups. So those guys are eligible, like OET, CBT cleared, got lots of experience working in Kerala, working in like GCC countries, Arab countries and everywhere. So like its competition is getting tighter and tighter. That's the main thing. So I used to tell our colleagues also, a community, like you guys need to be still working, increase your clinical based experience.
Yeah.
You need to be competent, because the interview is not going to be like 3,000 vacancies or 4,000 is going to be coming out. It might be like 150, 200 will be in less numbers. What's your thoughts in regarding that?
Completely echo that. You know, keep going to interviews, even if you'll say successful at an interview. So for us, the taps were turned off quite quickly. We didn't actually realize that things were moving as quickly as they were. You know, we had a steady number of orders, shall we say, from our providers. So they would say, you know, 20 nurses, 50 nurses per month. And that stopped really, really quickly. We weren't expecting it. So we were carrying on interviewing as normal, you know, waiting for those numbers to come in, and it dried up very, very quickly. So even if you have had an interview and you're waiting for a CoS, we would actively encourage people to carry on going to other interviews, secure as many interviews as you can, because you don't, until you've got that CoS that's been assigned to you, you aren't you're not owned by an agency as such. You can have free reign to do whatever it is that you want. So bear that in mind and keep your skills, you know, going, because if you have had an interview and you're waiting for a CoS, that is based on your CV that you gave at the time of the interview. So 6 months later, if you then said, oh, I've not been working, that's not as you were when you were interviewed. So keep that experience going. Keep trying to diversify yourself perhaps and get experience in other areas that you might not necessarily know, because I strongly believe that when it comes around and we're looking for international nurses again, it will be in more specific areas such as theatre, you know, ophthalmology, endoscopy, all of those specific areas, rather than general surgical medical wards. I really think that we will be looking at more specific areas. So that's worth noting as well. Just carry on getting that experience, because actually 6 months to a year gap is acceptable for studying for your OET and your IELTS or your CBT. But once that's done, you know, there is a bit of leeway for family emergencies and things that you need to take time off for. But realistically, you do need to be working.
Yeah, get back to the work and be continuously experienced in there.
Yeah, because it's a fierce competition out there.
Exactly. Yeah.
I was going to say, when it comes to competition with regard to when the next opportunities arise, to be honest, I think anybody that's going to have more than a year's gap are probably going to get overlooked, to be fair. I don't think that they're going to come into the equation for the simple reason they're going to feel that they have to like almost retrain them. And one other thing I'll just add to what Laura said really was that we are very specific in telling anybody that's been successful at an interview that please do not resign until you have that CoS in your hand.
Yeah.
So, because we've had in the past where people have said, well, I've passed the interview. I've told the hospital where I'm working that I'm leaving, sort of thing. So it's definitely, please don't resign. Keep on gaining those key skills and more skills that are necessary, and that makes you then a better option. As you say, that it'll be more cutthroat out there, and so you have to shine above the others as well with regard to being unavailable, sort of, to be what they want. As Laura said as well, like with regard to like the specialisms that we'll be looking for, it may be a bit more targeted. So again, the more experience they get, the better too, sort of thing. So
exactly. I've been used to tell them also regarding the same thing. Don't put the resignation, because
please don't.
Lots of stories you might have heard the same also.
Yeah.
Once they get successful with the interview, they like with the excitement, they yeah, that's it. So then we used to say, no, please don't do it until you get the CoS or the COS. Wait for it. And as Laura said, it was an important point, because I just want to echo it again, that if you are successful with the interview, and if you haven't heard anything from that agency or from the trust, just go for the another interview also. I keep telling you, but they are afraid because the agency or the third party, they might be making them bit like, like don't go with them, like they might trust you, anything. So I told them, like, until you haven't got the COS,
you have to be self. You have to back yourself.
I think that's one of the main differences as well between an agency and ourselves. That we're not there for profit. We're there for the help of the nurses, and that's all we sort of want. We want them to be successful wherever they go, to be honest. Of course, we'd love them to come through ourselves, but if there are opportunities elsewhere, then we'd also like to give them that opportunity to please take it if you get the opportunity to.
So we would say no hard feelings, and we're genuinely really happy for you. You don't owe us anything.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you both. So that was a great tip for many of the nurses who are watching this video.
Thank you.
So you said regarding, that was my next question. You already answered it regarding the preferable experience.
Perfect.
So any preferable bed capacity or any kind of accreditations you are looking for?
Not specifically bed capacity. I think, sometimes people will be working at a 200-bedded community hospital, and some people be working at a, 1,600-bedded hospital. So not necessarily. What do you think, Paul?
I would say that in the past, we have had some experience where some of the trusts would specifically be looking for nurses that have had experience in the higher bed counts.
Oh, really?
So it is, we've they wanted to know like more about their experience, and I think that they would see that it was a better proposition for the trust if they had been in that high capacity sort of wards as well, and bed count. So it's horses for courses. So you could say any experience is great with regard whether it's small or large, but different trusts may want different requirements again. So again, there's no right or wrong to it.
I got it. Yeah. So it depends upon the trust discretion, if you say, like, in case if they want something specific in it, but like more than 100-bedded or like that will be generally if they are bedside nursing.
Yes, exactly.
Right. Yeah. Thank you, Paul. So some of the nurses normally, when they get the registration, they get the experience, or some of the, like, it's sad to say, but in most of the side or the rural side, they get the experience of trainee nurse or voluntary nurse. because some of the hospitals don't pay them the salary because they know these nurses want to go abroad. So they utilize that situation. It's very, very frequently happening in everywhere in there. So what they're going to do is they will tell them like kind of a like barter system. So they will tell them like, okay, if you guys work here for 1 year, we will give you the experience certificate and we will give you the like still working certificate, but there won't be any salary. So, and we will give you a trainee nursing certificate, so that they are working after their registration. So will that be countable if they are unpaid and if they have got the certificate as trainee nurse experience, which they have done after their registration, nursing registration?
Go on, Paul.
Well, it's a little bit of a bone of contention, to be honest, because some trusts don't like the word volunteer and they don't like the word trainee.
Yeah.
So I would suggest in any CV that's being written that those words aren't used, especially if they've qualified and are registered nurses.
Yeah, if they're working as a registered nurse and they're using their registration,
I would suggest on a CV that they put obviously where they're working and what they're doing and their skills and that. If they're registered, they're registered.
Yeah.
That's good.
If that's a help.
Yeah, that truly will be helpful. Yeah. So because there are lots of nurses and currently there are, you can imagine because of the less interviews, lots of nurses who have been cleared the OET, they're stuck in there. So they want the experience. So they're not getting paid or anything at all.
No.
They've been completely working in there. So I'm just thinking, so if they put the like the details as registered nurse in their CV, will that if they get the experience certificate from the hospital says it as voluntary or trainee nurse?
Yeah.
I don't think it's something that the trust is going to do, like go and check whether they've been paid for that work or not.
Okay, yeah, because they've been registered, isn't it, anyway?
Do you agree, Laura?
If they're working as a registered nurse, they're working as a registered nurse, and
whether they get paid or not.
Yeah, as long as they can get that certificate of experience to show that they've been working, that time to put in their references, then I don't think it should make a difference.
Yeah, I just felt like if we pass them and say at least that'll be a relief for them.
Yeah,
at least they are getting something, even if it is unpaid also.
Yeah, but as Paul says, a lot of employers don't like the word volunteer. But as long as they've been working as a registered nurse,
I got it. Some of the hospitals do. I'm not generalizing it. It's very few of them, very minor. Utilize the situation. So that's it.
We've seen it. So
They would still probably need to put those down as a referee if they were successful, obviously, at joining. So again, I mean, the questions that would be asked in the references would be not about how much they got paid. It would be about how they were in themselves in terms of their working, were they a good worker, about their sick and stuff like that. It's not a question about how much did you pay them.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you. That was a real concern for many of them. Thank you for answering that. And what are the chances of the newly qualified nurses and getting shortlisted for the interviews?
Not very high. So we've hired over 1,200 nurses, specifically nurses in 3 years, and we've placed one fresher. That's it.
Yeah. Okay.
Just for us particularly.
I know.
They're just not needed. Yeah, they don't like to hire the freshers. So not saying that there is no opportunities for freshers in the UK, just we haven't had those opportunities. And if we did, we would put it on social media and invite applications from freshers specifically, like we have in the past.
Great, yeah. So that's why we keep telling the newly qualified nurses also, it's not like the exact previous scenario. It's completely changed now.
It has.
Please get back into your clinical experience. Get the proper clinical experience. Do you guys agree with that?
Most definitely. I would say most of the trusts that we've had dealings with would also be probably looking for 12 months experience.
Okay.
We used to say 6, but actually now it's 12.
12 months, yeah.
They want them almost to come in and run before they can walk almost into the positions. They don't seem like they want to spend the time in training them up, like as a fresher. They want them to be skilled in what they want them for so that they can come straight in and, hit the ground running, as they say, sort of thing. So that'll
be easy. Like once they come into the trust also, they get the supernumerary period for like nearly 7 weeks,
Yeah.
injections and everything. So hopefully they'll be absolutely fine rather
Yes,
than
of course.
pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Yeah. So employment gaps, you guys already answered that question. So that's been ticked through. And so a lot of PIN nurses in the UK currently, they've gone through the SIFE, supporting information from employer.
Okay.
Yeah, so there are lots of nurses, like back home nurses, who are currently working in the UK as senior carers or care assistants within the NHS or nursing homes also. So they got the PIN number. They have cleared their CBT exam, they clear the OSCE exam, and they got the PIN numbers. Do you guys currently recruit those people? Or because there are lots of interviews happening, but any from DEVON?
Not if they have their PIN. If they have their PIN, they need to apply directly with trusts.
Okay.
We assist PRN nurses,
Right.
and we put them all through the OSCE program, and it's like a round sort of service. So not us personally, they would need to apply directly to hospitals, but I have to be honest, I really wouldn't recommend a nurse coming in as a carer because they can't get their English up to the NMC standard, because you are going to be not using those nurses' skills for perhaps a year or 2 years. If I was to look at a CV of a nurse that was fully qualified in India, came to work as a carer for 2 years, a year to 2 years,
Yeah.
I would not put that forward for interview because they haven't used their nursing skills for that time. So
Yeah.
I would really strongly ask people to consider
Yeah.
taking that route, because it will be harder down the line. I would rather somebody spend an extra 6 months trying to really nail their IELTS or their OET than waste that year or 2 years in the UK, pay self-fund for their PIN, self-fund all through their CBT, because we do refund those costs.
Exactly. Yeah.
And they've wasted those 2 years on their nursing skills, and they're not going to get another job. And it is genuinely seen as a dead end, because we wouldn't hire somebody based on that.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, that's very clear. Yeah, thank you, Laura, for that. So regarding the cost reimbursement packages, what we be normally doing when the international nurse normally arrives back in the UK.
Yeah.
Does that still continue once we get the interviews are again open, or the recruitment are open, or is there any kind of changes you guys expecting, anything like that?
No, we're not expecting any changes of the package that we offer. Paul, would you like to elaborate on the package that Devon Alliance offers? Do you remember?
Well, this is a test. No, I mean, obviously, yeah, there's lots of things within the Devon offer that we give, sort of thing, with regard to they're fully funded, they get reimbursement on their English passes, there's the RCN registration.
Yeah.
NMC.
NMC, sorry. They get their NMC registration and various costs back for that. There's also, when they come over to this country, fully funded for 2 months of accommodation via the hospital, and all through their OSCE as well, providing that they pass, of course. So, all that sort of a free of charge stuff. I'm sure Laura will add some more things that I've missed off.
No, you did really well. So NMC registration costs are covered, all of the costs. Obviously, we would just say, like, keep your receipts. CBT is covered. One IELTS exam is covered. We refund for that. Accommodation for 2 months is provided. OSCE is paid for. First OSCE is paid for. OSCE is provided as well. Flight,
Travel,
visa, CoS. Yeah, that's all included. So it's we're a very ethical recruitment company. We only recruit from green list companies. We don't charge anything to our candidates. It's all free of charge. I think it's a good package that we offer. Oh, and we recognise 50% of their pre-NHS working as well. So you go on the band accordingly. So if you've got 10 years experience, half that is 5 years, and you would go to the top of band 5 when you catch your OSCE. So we recognise half of their outside of NHS experience.
We didn't have that anything in there when we joined.
Oh, yes, we do. So
that's good to hear. Yeah, need to think again. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So that's good to hear, because lots of nurses sometimes do prefer, rather than coming to the UK, sometimes they do prefer Ireland or some of the countries, because they do value their experience, their back experience. Sure. Yeah, so in here, when I got recruited in here, I had nearly 5.5, 6 years of experience. which just gone in thin water. That's it. So
That's not fair.
yeah. So, but like eventually, like we got something gaining, isn't it? Got the job in here, but that's really great. But this is something really like amazing because they're getting valued on their previous experience also, isn't it? Which is really good.
Of
Thanks
course, you
for
bring a
sharing
lot to
that.
the table. International nurses bring incredible wealth to the
Yeah.
table, and that should be celebrated.
Yeah, I think RCN just like put forward some of the emails just came through from yesterday onwards, like regarding the like the benefits which the nurses can't claim because they are under the temporary visa, isn't it? So most of the benefits can't be claimed. So that's one of the reasons they're getting migrated back to different countries, because the countries give them the permanent residency on their direct arrival.
Yeah.
So I think they are pulling it upwards now just to get something from the government. So we'll see, hopefully.
This also comes back to the thing where the question that you were asked with regard to those that have come here of their own, paid for their own way, funded themselves. See, they wouldn't be entitled to any of the DEVON offer in that sense. We wouldn't be able to refund them post that. It's one package that we do from where they are to when they've passed their OSCE sort of thing. So yeah, that's another reason not to possibly take that route as well, sort of thing, because it's quite a lot of outlay.
Yeah, I got it, Paul. Thank you for that. So next one is mainly any chances of face-to-face interviews. I know there'll be a delay, but once we get open with the interviews, recruitment center, hopefully within next year, chances of interviews happening back in Kerala or anywhere in India?
Oh, we would honestly love to do that, but it depends on the amount of jobs that we've got. I'm sure you can imagine that we've got quite a very big pipeline of nurses that are ready to go. So obviously they would be first priority. And we've got new applications as well. So we've got quite a few applications to work our way through. Realistically, if we were to do a face-to-face campaign, it probably wouldn't be next year. It would maybe be the year after if we needed to. But we do find that interviews on Zoom are just as good as face-to-face interviews, and we can still get what we need from people. But no, we would love to, but we just need to have the jobs to be able to go out there to do it, but not for a couple of years.
No problem. Yeah, but otherwise, like the chances of maybe virtual interviews can happen.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Next or within next 2 years, isn't it?
Oh, 100%. What do you think about interviews, Paul?
Yeah, I mean, I can probably see it coming back in the new year. I can't see anything this year, to be fair. Again, it comes down to demand, as you can appreciate, sort of thing. But as soon as we have the opportunity, be back to interviewing, as much as we can, sort of thing. So, it's a really good process. It doesn't have to be face to face these days, to be fair. I mean, I understand that. Yeah, it's nice to do that, but it's also you still get the same good feel of doing them through the Zoom or Teams, so it's just as reliable.
Yeah, we do like I do participate in the interview panels within the trust also. So do lots of interviews. Yeah, so that was a really good experience because I was in the same position before while attending, but like when conducting the interviews also, that's a really good experience. Virtually, and we get like face to face. So we do like it's almost the same. So only some kind of glitch with the network. That's only bit.
Otherwise, yeah.
So
we would love to though, as soon as we can. We can't wait. We can't wait, to do it again. But it's not going to be for a while.
But on saying, just going to what you were saying there with regard to like the weather, for instance, if the connection's not very good, we've had that many times, and we to be honest, we always refer them as first choice for the next panel if we can, or the next available panel. We never just say, oh, that's your chance and it's gone. We do send them an apology as well, sort of saying that we will interview them as soon as we can next time.
Yeah, much appreciated. Thanks, Paul. Thanks for saying that. Community, which is like looking forward for the career opportunities currently. And the glad news you guys shared was the experience might be counted also, like will be counted also on coming through. That was a great news. Like, as I said, it's a great news for them also. So looking forward to the progression also. Do you guys support them during their progression wise and everything once they get joined within the trust?
Yes, yeah, definitely. So my job is I work in the pastoral element of things, which as we know is so important for international staff because it's about helping them settle in, but also telling them like our knowledge. So I've been working really on this quite a lot recently, and it's the whole package, isn't it? It's about saying to somebody, if you do your shop, you will pay less money if you go to Aldi than if you go to Waitrose. You know, I know that, but they don't know that. So it's just about the whole picture. So yeah, it's I think it's really important to guide these people that are giving up their lives to come and work in our country. So there's a wide amount of knowledge that we give to them, that we've worked really hard on, but as well as future progressions. I have a work phone. We've got WhatsApp groups with everybody, and they are always open to contact me whenever they want to, and I will help if I can. If people come to me and say, I'm doing this application, can you help me? Of course I'll help. I'm never going to say no. And I'm working with the EDI team at Torbay to start doing some workshops for internationally recruited nurses to help them with applications, because we have heard that it's such a struggle. So we've got nurses that have moved on from, to band 6s and band 7s, and internationally educated nurses in, the higher band 8s and the band 9s is what we all want to see. So of course, definitely celebrate and welcome and help as much as we can.
We're very big on integration as well, with helping them, find some like-mindedness of their cultures and stuff like that. So we try our best. I mean, there are lots of spaces out there within the trust as well that do a lot of great work, not just us. So it's not, we're not the only ones there. All the trusts, I'm pretty sure, have got their own, days that they can sort out and courses that can help, and somewhere for them to turn to if they need someone.
Yeah, great. Very great. Thank you so much for answering that question, because which they want to look forward, isn't it? Like, what will be their support? Yeah, so that'll be really reassuring for them also while hearing this.
Yeah. And you know what it's like in the NHS as well. There's support if people want to go on and do their masters, lots of different courses through I've started one recently. I've started doing the Edward Jenner program. So you've got through NHS Leadership, there's lots of courses there. There's study budgets that are allocated to every department. The only thing that I would say is, if you do want to study higher education, or if you are going to sign up to a course that impacts your work, please just talk to your line manager, and they will guide you, because you can't have people on a ward. If you've got 14 members of staff, you can't have 5 that are doing, you have to kind of like wait your turn, which is fine, but the support is there. So there's so much support in the NHS for further education and further career.
Yeah, we always, like, I personally always tell to my colleagues and everyone also, the support what we've been getting within the trust and within the department is like really amazing. So they've been always there to support anything. So they're there really to help in like kind of difficult situations and everywhere. We always put the expression of interest, which is fairly treated, sharing the opportunities for everyone, like keeping the values and behaviors, like everything is there. So yeah, it's so happy to be within the NHS.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. So yeah, that's everything. So I'm hoping if you guys are absolutely fine, we got some of the selected candidates also really want to participate in a live session like this.
Okay.
So they want to like ask some of their queries. I think mostly some of the similar questions, but they just want to ask from themselves.
Of course.
And they want to know what exactly your answers will be, just to go through. But if you guys are happy, I can schedule it either next month or something like that.
Okay.
So that some of the people can also join, if that's okay for you.
Yeah, we'd love to help, of course.
Just going back on one thing that we've mentioned, probably nearer the start than now, come to mind, is that while they're waiting as well, they must try and keep practicing their English.
Yes.
Because, we have found that after a while that they've got the qualification to say they've passed their English, and that's like the end of it for them in terms of, I've done that work, that's it. But when it comes then to an interview, or maybe another interview is needed by a specific trust that might want, like to look at your CV and stuff, that will certainly play a key part. So if they can remind them all to keep practicing their English until they're deployed, because that will really be a big help too.
Yeah, really, because as you said, Paul, this NHS Wales interview, that was evidence the same like this, because the people, they got the clinical experience, but they failed in the interview because their communications are really poor. So they couldn't get in touch with the what they are asking. They got the question, but they don't have the skill to improvise it. So really struggling. I've been posting lots of video for the interview preparation within our YouTube channel also. How to get through like different topics like confidentiality, safeguarding, tactics reporting, everything. But we do tell people, do some mirror practice with your colleagues.
Most definitely.
Yeah, the main thing was because English is not the first language back in the country.
Of course. So and we do understand that, and there is a bit of understanding for that, but you can't have a certificate that your English is at a certain standard and then not be able to communicate to that standard. It's dangerous.
Yes, it is.
And we do recommend that people watch BBC News with the subtitles on, because it's reading and listening.
Yeah, everything will be there. Thank you. There was like lots of tips being generated through the video. That's really good. So yeah, it's nice to know then the people will be so happy they can also participate. I will see, and I will give you an update like how many will be there, but like less than 20 or something like that. So,
we do genuinely care. I think that's what makes us so different, is we care. And the fact that there has been a pause on recruitment, it's not been great. You know, I didn't take this job to give bad news to people all the time. We genuinely do care about the nurses and the healthcare professionals, so we really want it to pick up soon, and we do care.
That's what we've been praying for. Hopefully we get it through. As Paul said, next new year will be a happy news.
We hope so. Oh, fab. Thank you very much. Have a good weekend.
You too. Enjoy.
Thanks very much.
Thank you so much. Bye.